Kubernetes and Kubernetes cluster. So this is dedicated for those who are trying to manage Kubernetes, or those who are trying to leverage Kubernetes commands or trying to deploy. This is one of the required skill, I would say, wherever you go for what you call DevOps engineer or cloud engineer or Kubernetes or Docker engineer type of person who either deploy, monitor, investigate, like performance tuning, some kind of activity normally you as a cloud architect or DevOps engineer will be doing with respect to this command. There are two type of command you're going to learn: kubectl and ACTL. So EKS, CTL. So we'll cover that as well, but has nothing to do with Azure DevOps. So just remove Azure DevOps for a minute.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now please understand and let's follow the flow, because I want to make sure we do it right, because as I said before, time is very important. I may not be able to stop because one student having a problem, because it will take 3-4 hours, and forget about one lab. We may not be able to do even one lab, and that kind of defeat the purpose. So in case if you are struggling, you may watch recording, but I'm not going to go too fast where you all will not be able to do. I'll try my best reasonably that you all can do, because I'm following the documents, and documents you have. The only skill required is cut and paste and copy. That's all required. Rest I have taken care. Trust me, I have worked very hard for this exercise, so I'm super excited. So let's begin. So if you scroll down, there's a picture here. I want you to understand picture, because when you go in interview, 99% picture you're selling. You're not selling your resume, you're selling picture, that how comfortable you are. Majority of you are going to compete with many people. So first we are saying, hey, I'm going to install a lot of software. So my machine I'm setting up for Docker and Kubernetes. And then I will create a Docker image. Docker image which I'm going to create, it is created from my Python service. So I'm going to write a Python Flask service. I think you all are familiar. So we'll create a Python service, and Python service which will create a Docker image. So that's the first step. During this time, we're going to create a ECR where image will be pushed. Nothing but repository. So think about Git repo. All Docker images, normally you put it in a repository. Company use their own repository or they use ECR. Most of companies use ECR. Once you have ECR, we're going to create an Elastic Kubernetes service. We create a cluster, and that cluster will create a maybe 2-node cluster. One will be a master node and one will be a node. So remember, we talk about cluster. If you remember architecture, we'll have a control plane and we'll have data plane. So control plane, you have like proxies, controller, etc. All will be created in a master node. And there will be a data node where we will have kubelet and proxy. Again, this will be automatically created by command. And we are going to use EKS CTL. Please pay attention. EKS CTL, and that will internally use CloudFormation. So whenever we do this big thing, we are using CloudFormation, which is built-in service for AWS, which is create a technical stack. Good news, you don't have to do manually. If you do manually, it will take weeks of effort. But if you do this way, it takes minutes, because all heavy lifting is done by CloudFormation. And these are pre-made templates. So once we complete it, our image will be deployed here. And when we deploy our image, we will be verified. If it works, then we'll play some commands about how many nodes I have, how many namespace I have, what service I have. We'll deploy and we'll play around, and then we'll destroy. So please remind me to destroy, because this exercise may cost $2-3 if you do in 1 hour. If you don't do in 1 hour, and if you take longer, end of the day, it might cost $50 to $60. Okay, so please allow me to destroy. If I don't destroy by end of next week, it will cost you approximately $100 to $200, because these machines are pretty high-end machine and they charge a lot. Sounds good? Okay. Good news, whenever you create something from CloudFormation, you just delete the formation and it will delete all resources, which I like the most. Moving along. So you all should have CLI. So let's check it out. Go to command prompt, please go to command prompt and type CMD. And when you type CMD, and just type AWS and see if your CLI install. So you can see it seems like a CLI install because I get the prompt. If you don't have CLI install, right? In that situation, you have no choice. You click here and you can install CLI. I'm going to show you. It takes a couple of minutes to install. Though I already have it, so I don't have to install. But those who do not have, they need to install CLI. We will configure the CLI. I'll walk you through. But first, those who do not have CLI, you just click on right click or click whatever works for you, and then open this link. So this link allows you to open. So you can open this hyperlink, or you can copy and open. So let's say I'm going to copy the link. So right click here. My machine is a little slow sometimes. So if I do control click, it's say control click. So I'm going to open this thing, and normally it opens in different browser. So
We need to click on control, sir.
yeah, that's what I did, but sometimes it takes time. So I'm going to copy and paste it. So those who do not have this thing, they can come here and use your operating system, which is Windows here. And there is a CLI, which you can download. It takes a couple of minutes to download and install. You don't have to do anything, just download and install. So if I click here, it's taking longer. Are you able to expand Windows? Oh, here you go. So I install Windows, and you can see this MSI. Just download. Once you download it, just next, and you're done. See if you guys can quickly do that and give me thumbs up so we can move forward. Those who do not have CLI, you do need to install. Those who already have CLI, do not do anything. And please don't go forward, because if you try to go forward, if you are different setup, I may not be able to help, because the goal of the exercise, we want to make sure we work together. Every step we can verify, because there are so many steps. We may have an awkward moment. Awkward moment means we all should have same error. Then it's easier to fix. If everyone has a different error, it's pretty hard to fix. So let's go with the pace. Make sure you install CLI, right? And give me thumbs up. You guys are good. Okay. Download will go parallel, because while it is installing, we can install other software also. So please understand, there are many software we are installing, so we are not going to wait. We just download next. I hope you can do that part. Moving along. Now we are also, so this is the installation update, latest version. You don't have to worry about. kubectl you already have. Yes, sir. kubectl we have, but in case if you want to see that, just run kubectl, which I think you have, because we have been teaching Docker, so no problem. Now the next software I don't think we have is EKS CTL. EKS CTL we don't have it. So click on the link, right? Click on this link. So you can right click, copy, whichever works for you. Control Shift works for you, whichever works for you. So I'm going to copy it, or you can just click it, whichever works, and paste it the URL. So as it coming, I'll go through that and I paste it here. I think I don't even have EKS CTL installed, so I'm also going to install that. Now this is a CLI. Did I copy properly? Maybe I did not copy. Did I copy properly? Maybe not. I thought I copied, right? No. Yeah, this is correct. So EKS installation. And in this exercise, if you scroll down, you will see Windows. Do you see that? And you're going to click on this one, download, and then you're going to install. So I'm going to click on this one, right? Follow along. And you should be able to download quickly. These are very tiny file. So I downloaded that. It's a zip file, right? So I'll unzip it. So if I go back here on my download folder, I have the zip file. I will right click, unzip, and then I'll install it. So I'll say extract all, right? It should not be difficult part, right? Extract, zip, unzip should not be the difficult part because we've been doing for a while. And once you have exe file in the folder, we'll double click on it. So now I have folder, and this file is our actual file. Now we have two choices. Hello, make sure you understand. This file is actually file. We can't install it. It comes as an exe file. So we're going to set up a path. We're going to set up a path. Can I count everyone is here so far? People on phone? David, thank you for thumbs up. Other people, please help me. Good, good, Mohammed, good. Good. Okay. So what are we going to do here? Quickly, we click here. Ideally, I can put this file. Please pay attention. Ideally, I put this file in a particular location and put it, but time being, I'm going to use this and add this in a path so that anytime I run this command EKS-CTL, it should be accessible. Make sense? So I'm going to copy, click here and Control-C, copy it. Click here and copy it. Then go to your PC, right click PC and properties. Right click on PC and properties. So you right click, properties. Right click on PC, properties. And look for advanced setting. Look for advanced setting. You will find on the right side somewhere advanced setting. Advanced setting. And in advanced setting, you will find environment variable. You might be, remember we did a git installation Java home, same concept. Environment variable. Click on environment variable and then click on path. Click on path. So environment variable, click on path and then click on edit. Click on edit. Click on edit. Doing good so far? Now click edit and then click on new. Click on new. Click on new. So when you click on new, it's going to give you space and then do Control V. This is the place where we have EKS-CTL. Now it can be any directory. I'm using download directory, which is not the best, but time being, that's perfectly fine. And then you can click on OK, then OK, and then OK. So OK, OK, and OK. So basically what you did, you just install EKS-CTL in class path. Now you can close your current command prompt because it won't work because you just changed the environment. You start a new command prompt. So let's start a new command prompt, CMD. And then look for EKS-CTL. If it works, give me thumbs up. Pretty good, right? Any questions? People on phone?
Show the environment variable path again.
Sorry?
Could you show the environment variable path again?
Environment variable? Are you here or no?
Yeah, I'm in the environment variables.
Yeah, then you can just set a path. Click here, path. Click on path, edit. Environment, click on path, edit. Right? Edit. And then new. And then add this whole path. Remember, you did Control C, you will do Control V, and then click OK. Okay, 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 okay. Three times. Okay, so you can come out. Okay, okay, okay. And once you come out, create a new command prompt window. If you have existing command prompt window, stop it and then run EKS-CTL. This is very essential. If you don't know or if you don't set up this, it won't work. So it's very important that you have EKS-CTL. Congratulations. 20% lab is done so far. Please pay attention. Long run to go. More attention you do, less repetitions you need to do. Good. Okay. Now, please understand, log into your AWS console. The only thing I can tell you, as soon as you have deviation from the lab, you will be stuck and I have to go forward. So I always recommend, and again, follow along. Make sure you are with me. A minor mistake create a problem, and trust me, you will be stuck in an infinite loop. Why? Because if you have certain error, you will go in totally different path, which I have gone through many times. So that's why I'm encouraging not to make any mistakes. But these are very delicate labs. Okay, so let's log into AWS console. Log into AWS console and click on management console and logins. So I already have account, so I'm going to log in. And here I'm going to log in as a root user account. I think you all know, so I'm going to go fast here because you guys are doing for many weeks, right? So log in and log in with your root, and my God, this is different. EWRW87. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And I'm logging. Hopefully it will give me MFA. Perfect. And it gives me MFA. And if you have MFA perfectly set up, then you should be able to get in. 2, 3, 6. I'm in. Oops. Oh my God. 3, 0, 8. Oh, it is asking password. Oh, did I make a password mistake? Maybe. Yay. Okay, now I'm MFA. Okay. Perfect. I hope you all are able to join. Now here we are going to do 3 things which I have already prepared. So please again I'm repeating. There are steps which are you miss, then you trust me, your faster will go backward. So make sure you follow along. Okay. What we are doing, make sure you understand the system. So you are here. First thing, we are going to create a user. And this user is it's very challenging. I gone through 18 to 20 times to create this user because every time different error. Every time different error. So please understand, I'm going to create EKS user. These user need a lot of permissions. And trust me, I spent almost 6-7 hours to make sure I understand permission because there is no document explain about this permission. Good news, I have created a policy. That policies allow 9 or 10 activity. Understand the concept. Doing without understanding is useless because in your interview, they will ask you what permissions you are giving and why you're giving. So this EKS user, we are saying, I want to create a cluster. So it needs EC2 permission. And if you want to do something, because it's a user, then you need IAM. And then you're using cloud formation, so you need a cloud formation. Then you're using ECR, Elastic Cloud Registry. Then you're also asking certain type of way to stop, start, and all. Then you need a special tag related information. And there are more and more and more and more permission you need to give, right? So let's go back to the document and we'll follow the flow. Again and again, I'm saying, don't go fast. Don't worry about it. Good news, Docker we have already installed, kubectl we have, and Python we already have. So no need to worry about that. Now we are coming here. We are going to create, please pay attention. We're going to create a user. And that username I have selected. So we're going to create a user. So I'm going to use EKS user. Name, I'm using same EKS user. So let's go here and we'll search IAM. Before I search IAM, I want to make sure you understand where you are. Hello, where you are. So here I'm in Virginia. I want to see my document. I think I have used US East, right? So I'm going to toggle that. So let's be together rather than going to Virginia. Oh, Virginia is East one, so we are good. So we are good there. Now we are going to search IAM. And in IAM, we are going to click on IAM. Okay. And here in IAM, we are going to create a user. I might have a user already because I did not delete, I believe, but we can go over. So click on users. Click on users. I already have it. So I have it. So I'm going to delete it to create the scenario. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So I deleted the user, and now I'm going to create user. This user, we are going to create as a CLI user. So we'll say EKS user. We are not doing this checkmark. Please do not do checkmark, right? We are not doing that. We'll go to next. Click on next. Please understand, we just created the user EKS. Now here, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to come out and just say next. And then I'll say create user. So this user has no permission. This user has no permission. And you can search here. So you can search EKS and you can see the user is here. Give me thumbs up that you are able to create user without any permission. Good. Fair.
No, I am creating my AWS account.
Oh,
I'm not in the.
I would then focus here. You may be locked behind. I thought I sent the email, right? That you guys need to install software here, right? Did I? You have to watch, guys. People on phone, you won't be able to do all these things then. People on phone, are you guys with me so far? David?
I just created my account too,
Oh, you don't have account?
but I created it already. I'm in now, so I can create the user and try to keep up. But
Okay. If you don't have account, maybe you guys can do later because there are so many things we will do and you may need permissions. Okay. Now, please understand this EKS user. I want to give a policy. So let's create a policy here. So click on policies. I kind of memorized it. I did so many times. Policies. I have a policy here, so I have to delete that policy and then recreate policy. Okay, I think I have deleted. Wow. Did I? That's good. It looks like I have deleted. No problem. Now click on create policy. So I'm in a policy and I'm creating create policy. Okay. And when I click on create policy, it is asking me, hey, where is the policy? So we're going to click on JSON. We're going to click on JSON. And when you click on JSON, I get editor, right? This editor, please see on the screen, it is highlighting for a reason. It is highlighting for a reason. It says, what do you want to change here? Now, if I go back to my Word document, I have created policy and make it ready for you. So look at this first before you go further. Everything I have done. So here, this is all stereotype as is, but we are saying effect allow. We are saying allow EKS all permission, allow EC2 all permission, allow IAM all permission, allow cloud permission all permission, allow autoscale, allow log, allow ECR, allow elastic load balancer. You see how many different error you get if you don't do right one. So right now we're going to highlight this whole JSON. Try not to do half. Make sure you copy whole JSON. So you can see start from here and end from here. You copy that. And I'm going to do Control A, delete this thing, and I'm going to paste my policy. So your policy will look like this. Please understand, don't worry about this error. These are just warning. Right now, this is your policy. Make sense? Please understand this, even AWS document does not explain what policy you need. So it's trial and error you learn, but good news, you will not have any problem. Now, if you scroll down, it's going to say next. And next, we're going to ask policy name. So we'll say EKS EKS user, say user policy, EKS user policy. You can give any name, but just easy, EKS user policy. And now you're going to create policy. You might notice that I have not typed policy. I have done cut and paste. The reason, if you make a mistake in typing, again, there is a problem. So in order for us to verify, just do EKS and user, and you have policy, expand it and just give me thumbs up that your policy is visible. Everything looks good. Good. Without this policy, nothing will work. So it's very important that you have this policy. Now, this policy will associate with the user. So let's go back. Our goal is to associate this policy to user. So now let's click on user. So when you click on user, we'll search EKS. So we have EKS. We went to user, we search EKS and we have user. We're going to click on that. So we check it. And that time we're going to click on it. Click on the user, which will allow me to attach policy. So I click on it. As soon as I click, I have permission here. So I'll say add permissions, add permissions, add permissions, add permissions. And I click on add permissions. Now here I will use attach policy directly. So I'm going to say attach policy. You click on attach policy. And you guessed it. What are we going to do? EKS user, and we're going to attach this policy. So you can see that I click on this. I search EKS. I have policy which we just created. I'm going to do next and finish it. So next and add permissions. At this moment, our user has quite a good permission. So if you expand that, you can see user has permission. Give me thumbs up if you have associated policy. Good. So good news, we are at 25% done. Now, what we need is, make sure you see here. If you're not able to do the lab, please see here. As I said before, after this exercise, you can say that I've been doing this for 2-3 years. But you have to do this thing. So ideally, you just need to understand. If you can do, awesome, 2 thumbs up. If you understand, 1 thumbs up, right? But if you don't pay attention, 0 thumbs up, because this is the DevOps life. Right? Complexity you will understand, you will appreciate also user, permission, policy, attachment. You see how many wavings you need to do, right? And that waving part is your job. A single mistake, you have to redo again. And you will see, again, I'm not confident, 99% chances we may have hiccup, okay? So good news, we have a user and we have policy. Let's click again one more time, user. Click on user one more time. Now we click on user. And once we click on user, search user, EKS, and click on that and we'll look for key. So we search user, we selected EK user. Now we're going to click on security credentials. Security credentials will give us the app key, right? And secret key. So let's click on it. And you can see here, right now, I click on security credential. When I click on security credentials, it is asking me, hey, you don't have any key. So I'm going to create a key. You see that? I scroll down a little bit and I have options, create a key. So I'm going to click on create a key. Why am I creating key? Because CLI will only understand if I have key. I have user has a full permission, but there is no way I can use AWS without this key. So let's click on it. So let's click create access key. And we're going to click on command line. It's going to guide us and we'll say, you know what, I understand all the risk. Do check mark. I understand all risk. And you're going to click on next. As you click on next, it's asking me, do you want to write any tag? I don't need to. So I'm going to click on create access key. When you click on create access key, you will see the key and secret key. So you can see right now, key and secret keys are here. It's a good idea to use, right? Keep this screen like this and go to your command prompt. Hello, go to your command prompt and you're going to type AWS configure. Go to command prompt. If you have installed AWS CLI, then it will work. AWS CLI, if it is configured very well, then this will work. So we are doing AWS configure and we're going to press enter. Again, don't go too fast. Minor mistake, you're going to go back. And I don't want you to be back. I want you to with me throughout the journey. So AWS configure. And when you press enter, it's going to prompt you, right? It's going to prompt you information. So let's see. It is asking access key. Good news we have here. So we're going to click on this one. So we can copy that access key and go to command prompt and right click it and press enter. Go slowly, don't go fast. So access key we copy, we right click and paste it. And then we'll do the same thing here. You click on this secret key, make sure you copy and right click and paste. This is very important aspect because this will help your local CLI now has user called EKS user and it has full permission. Press enter. It is asking me, hey region, remember our region? Make sure you change it because our region was East 1. You guys agree or not? We were in Virginia, so it's East 1. Many times people don't realize that and I'm doing exactly what you're saying. It's not working because you're creating user in somewhere else and everything is somewhere else. It's not going to work. So the minor detail, make sure you remember, press enter, enter. And congratulations. At this moment, you're 30+% exercise done. So far, are we good? Right? These are all basic things. There is nothing special we did because we created a user, we created a policy, we associated it, and we have configured CLI, and we install few software. Now, what's next? So moving along, let's go to our Word document. So we are here. You don't have to worry about policy. We already done. Now the magic is going to happen. If everything is right, hello, hello, hello. If everything is right, then life will be good. What will happen? Let's understand. So this is the CLI command, EKS CTL, which is the nothing but elastic Kubernetes, AWS Kubernetes service, create cluster. And we are saying dash dash name my EKS cluster. So this is the name of my cluster. Region, I'm selecting US East 1. Remember, we have East 1. So sometime if you create in Virginia, of course it's not going to work. Node group name. So we are giving node group name. Node group means machines, right? Linux node. Node type. What type of machines you are going to create? So we are creating 2 type of machines. And minimum we are expecting 1. And maximum we are expecting 3. And these are managed. Managed means AWS will manage it, right? So we are going to copy this command. Nice and beautiful command. Right click, copy it, and go to your command prompt and right click and paste it. Technically speaking, this will take 15 minutes. It may take more because depends on your internet. If this doesn't work, we will not be able to do lab. And I noticed that every time it error out, it does maintain the cluster information. So we have to keep changing the name. So like example, right now, it's a my EKS cluster. If it error out, I need to do my EKS cluster 2, my 3, 4, 5, and that's another technique. And every time it error out in a cloud formation, you will see the error. So we'll see that right now. What is going to happen when I press enter? It will send command to CloudFormation. CloudFormation say, oh, you're looking for EKS, or you're looking for EC2, you're looking for IAM, all those things CloudFormation going to take. It will take around 15 minutes. So not stop, you need internet ongoing. If anytime internet terminate, this command won't work. So hope for best and press enter and let's see. This is the most complex part. I used to have a lot of error. Every time error, look in ChatGPT, Google, and came up with every time error was because of the policy. Good news, my policy I have tested many times, so I'm confident it will work. While it is doing that, it's working so far. While it is doing that, what we can do, go to AWS and look for CloudFormation. See, I'm not looking right now that you're going to give me thumbs up or not, but I'm hoping you will follow along CloudFormation. So look for CloudFormation, and in CloudFormation at this moment, it should have received my command. And if it is received, give me thumbs up. So you can see right now it's going on. That is means we just created this thing. It's still in progress. It's going to take 15 minutes. Makes sense or not? So at this moment, not a problem. So while it is doing that, we can do some pre-work. We can create our Python service. We can create a Docker image. We can do ECR, so we can save some time. Make sense or no? Are we understanding? Because this is going to take 15 minutes. We can't close this terminal. This terminal will keep going. So I'm going to start a new terminal. Let's start a CMD. Start a CMD. Right? So I'm in new terminal. Everyone is good? Okay. Now let's continue further. This is going to take time, so we are not going to wait for. I know it will take. So now we are here. This one is just telling that we are going to create a Python directory. So it doesn't matter. Directory doesn't matter. So I'm going to just create a Python service. So come here and just write mkdir Python service. Just write name. Python service name doesn't matter technically. So we'll say Python service. mkdir is nothing but it's a DOS command. Python service, press enter. So that way you are creating a directory. And if you want to go inside, it's a CD, change directory, Python, and just do service. And you can see now I'm in Python. Please follow along. It's very important that you create a new directory so you don't have any problem. And then you're going inside the directory. And when you go inside, you can see that I was here. Now I'm here. So I'm inside in a directory. Now here we have to create a couple of files. Be careful. First we'll do Python service. Second we'll do is a requirements. And third we'll create a Docker file. It's not that complex. We have done last week also. Same concept. So now go back to your Word document. You can see the green color. So that's our app.py. So we're going to copy this green color. Control C, Control C, Control C for copy. Please follow along. Control C for copy. So this one is copy. And we have to follow the name correctly because I'm using this name in a Docker file. So app.py. So it's app.py. So go here. I'm inside here. So we'll say notepad app.py. Please understand, I'm doing this exercise in my new directory which I created. And now I'm creating this file app.py. Can I use Visual Studio? Yeah, absolutely. You can use any software, but I like to do raw material without any prerequisite, but you can do that as well. So I created this and yes, and I paste my Python code. Python code will be just like for testing purpose. So what we are doing here, we are saying, hey, use Flask, and anybody requests this route will say hello from EKS, and this is going to listen 5,000. So this service will test locally, making sure everything works before we create image. Tiny. Now in a real life, this will be done by the developer team. It can be do C#, it can do Python, Java, doesn't matter. You are trying to mimic the environment. And in order for me to have end-to-end, I created Python because Python is easy to create a service. Good. We are not writing a single line of code. We just cut and paste. Now the file name is app.py. Save it. So file is saved. So that part is done. Now go back to prompt wherever you were. Now we are going to create a second file. So if you see here, it does say requirements. You see that requirements.txt, and we'll write a Flask. So go here and we're going to say notepad requirements.txt requirements.txt, and we're going to write Flask. Make sure spellings are correct. Flask, because that's the framework which you want to install using pip command. Anytime you doubt, double check here, you understand. So requirements.txt, this is the file which you have a Flask. Basically, you are telling, hey, Docker, install this dependency. So that second step is done as well. Now we are going to the last step, which is the creating Docker file. Now we'll go to prompt and we'll say, you know what, notepad decapital Docker file, notepad space Docker, decapital Docker file. This exercise we have done quite a bit, so you are very comfortable, but repeating one more time. So now, yes, and we're going to paste Docker file. As I mentioned before, Docker creation happened through this file. So green color, make sure you copy properly. If you read carefully, it says, install Python. This is your work directory. Whatever your requirement, you just install. and pip install. So you're installing that, then your copy dot dot, and then you're running Python. So it will run the program, and then we'll test it out. Okay. So now we have created a file, and let's paste it here. So we can see everything looks good. Python will run f.py and it will listen 5000 port. Now this file automatically give extension .docker.txt. Now docker.txt is a pretty different extension. So we'll rename that later, but right now let's save it. So at this moment, Docker file is saved, but it has extension .txt. So we're going to rename that file. So let's do rename. So we're going to say rename D capital Docker and just a tab, and D capital Docker and then tab, and remove this thing. What you are doing here, you are renaming the txt file to Docker file. That's something we need because by default, when I run Docker command, it look for Docker file, D capital Docker file in a current directory. That's why it's a good idea to have Docker file without any extension. At this moment, if I press enter, it will rename it. So we have three materials ready. First material is our Python service. Second is our dependency. And third is our Docker file. Now it's time for us to create an image. So good news, everything is here. So you can see here, this command, which I have yellow color, you're going to copy. Let's understand the command. So it's a Docker build. Dash T stands for tag, Python service latest, and dot stands for current, which will look for Docker file. So we're going to copy only this command, Control C, and you will see it will create the Docker file and press enter. It's going to take a couple of minutes to do so. Meantime, if you see the other window, the process is still going on. Make sense? So cluster is still in progress. So you're doing good. If errored out means you are bad luck, you are not going forward, you may need to troubleshoot it, right? But right now, this is now creating an image. Any questions so far? Any questions, concerns, doubt?
Tushar, after we do this, we can run Python in Docker, right?
Yes, you can Python program services. So you will run whole service.
I see. Thank
If
you.
you ask me, Malaki, if anyone wants to go to cloud, if anyone wants to go to DevOps, this is the life exercise. At this moment, almost every company, I would say 95% company use this thing day in and day out. So I will be guarantee people will ask you this question.
Yeah.
And trust me, if you can go like this with confidence, each and everything you can answer.
Yeah, you taught exact same step last week. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Now, this is like going forward, like whatever we studied last week, we are going forward because this one is helpful. So right now we are creating a real cluster. Last week we were using local cluster. So that's what.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So here it looks like this cluster is almost ready. You can see this cluster is almost ready, and this image seems like taking a little time. And we'll give it time. Most of the time, people do not know the sequence, and that's why this lab will help us a sequence. They know the concept, but doing end-to-end lab, sometimes people have a hard time. And that is the reason this type of project becomes 40 hours or maybe sometime 2-3 weeks project. The reason many people after 2 weeks, they cannot do it. Because if you're not done any time in a real life, especially under pressure with the professional aspect, impossible to do. And that is why people lose job. And I'm always challenging myself, how the heck you lose job when your hourly rate is $185? Impossible you should lose, right? You can come to me and I can help you in 1 hour and you can maintain your $185 per hour. It means, think about day. You are making like $3,000 a day, right? Think about a month, $30,000 to $40,000. Unbelievable. You can't screw up this thing, right? Impossible. It's a $300,000 plus salary, man. This is the world where we are. So we can't just take an excuse, my machine is not working. Sorry, I have some problem like this. 300,000, by the way, even some company CEO doesn't make. Let me repeat. That much money we are talking. So of course you have to put little effort here. Are you guys able to see the Docker image is going? So for me, why it's not moving forward? Maybe it should be running now. Oh,
Worked fine.
oh, it's already. Oh my God. That's going to be the running. I'll restart Docker because it has nothing to do with the previous command. So I'll restart. It should not take this much time for Docker build. It should be instant. As I said before, you always have a hiccup, right? But good news, you can see how cluster is going smoothly, which is amazing. Trust me, when cluster doesn't work, nothing happened because we are going to deploy to the cluster. So I restarted Docker. Should it come automatically or do I need to do anything? Come on, Docker, where are you? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. No. Let's see for Docker desktop. I'll search Docker desktop because we have Docker local. So my machine at home, I have 32 GB, so it's a little faster than this one. So let's see, it's a disable. Engine starting, good. I hope it should not ask me to restart my machine because my machine is working slow. So I don't want to be restarted. If it restarted, then I may lose my WebEx and I have to rejoin, which I don't want to do that because it looks like cluster is good to go. So I hope it will give me prompt. Looks pretty good so far. So within few minutes, I'm thinking cluster will be ready. Should work. It says Kubernetes starting, which is nice. It's working. So yay, look at that. Docker is up. So I'm going to run up arrow and create the image. Give me good news. Good news, good news. Yay, going well. Okay, so that will create an image quickly. So now image is created. So now go to our Word document and now we're going to test it out. So this is the command. Let's run, understand. So we are saying Docker run. So we are saying run the image and we are saying host machine will have this port, container will have this port, and this is the image. So this is a port mapping, which you already know. Let's copy this and run so we can test it out locally. So we right click and paste it. So now it will run the Docker and you will see the Docker is running at 5000 port. And this service, which is the Python, it will give us a hello from EKS. So you can see it started running and you can see that it is giving me this prompt, which is nothing but localhost 5000. So go to browser and type localhost 5000 and see if you're getting the answer. If you're getting answer, you're good. So also localhost and 5000. It will say hello from EKS and give me thumbs up. Hello, it works. So that's pretty good. This is the congratulations. We are almost 45% done, which is not bad, right? We are doing cruising right now. To be honest with you, this is an exciting moment that things are working as we are expecting. So now this part is done. So we have to stop it. So now we're going to push this image to ECR. So now I'm going to do Control C, Control C. Control C means stop this one because you can press enter. So it come out. Control C. And you can see, congratulations, your cluster is ready. Your cluster is ready. I have never seen this type of success ever before. So I want to say congratulations to all if your cluster is ready. Give me thumbs up if your cluster is ready. So curiosity, cluster is ready, which is amazing. So let's double check, triple check. So I'll go to console. So we are already in a console. Look for EKS. Look for EKS. EKS. Look for EKS. And click on Elastic Kubernetes Service. And when you click on Elastic Kubernetes Service, you will see the cluster. Now, there is one question in interview people ask. I want to show you that, which is important if you only understand when you see that. So if you remember last week, I taught you how to use Kubernetes GUI. Yes or no? And if you remember, I was talking about token and all. So there is an interview question. When I come here, I can see cluster, but I will not be able to I will not be able to see nodes, parts, container, nothing. So if I click here, I will not be able to see anything else. It will, ideally I should see, but I will not be able to see. You know why? Why? See, it's all here, right? I have all the details, but if I go to compute, right? After that, I don't get this information. So I have Linux node, to size, which I give. Remember the command? Yes or no? Command prompt. If you remember this command, when we were doing the cluster, right? We gave here that minimum node I need is 2. Yes or no? And the name which we give is Linux node. I'm able to see this. Okay. However, if I come here and if I say here, I click here on Linux node, my machine sometimes take a little time. Bear with me. So much things running. Okay. So if I go back here and if I click on this node, okay, ideally I should see all the details, right? About my this node group. And if I click on nodes, I'm supposed to see all the details, but I'm not getting this. I will not be able to see the details about my cluster because by default, this is the interview question, by default, EKS does not expose the details. It just gives you cluster and node, that's it. Inside part, you will not be able to see unless I create a token through command prompt, or I can associate this policy, remember the policy, to the admin user, because admin user doesn't have EKS related permission. So admin user, even the admin user cannot see that. And this is by default. So if somebody asks, if I want to see, how can I do? There are 2 ways. One, you create a token on command prompt and or create a service account, and the token you have to associate with the admin, or you give a policy, the policy which you created, EKS user, same thing, there is an admin user, you associate and it will work. Ideally, you should not expose because then somebody can do damage also, right? So by nature, does not expose. So this is the interview question. But if you want to access, you have to create a service account and use the token, a non-expiry token, or you can associate same policy and you can access them. But good news, it's working. Now,
Tushar,
yes.
does that mean any web app requires a token to use?
If you ask me, if you are doing SSO, which is this kind of SSO, because one user is doing, other users, then they are sharing. Token is nothing but you are sharing your credential one way. So example, you have your service and I have my service and I want to use, then you have to give it a trusted token. That's the only way you can access. So right now the creator is EKS user. That EKS user have 2 choices. The EKS user create a trusted token and give, or we give the same policy. Remember, we created EKS user policy. We assign policy, then that guy will be able to do. Trusted token means I am delegating my permission to you. In industry, this is called service account. So if you remember last week, there was a command I was giving, service account. Okay? Now we are not done yet, so we have a long run to go. So let's continue further. So now we are going to create a repository. We have this service, so we are saying we're going to create a repository, and this repository we're going to create in ECR. So please understand, these command only works because if you remember, when we created our user, we gave policy, so that will work without any problem. So now I'm here, I'm right clicking. So if you read this command carefully, it says create a new repository. So I'm going to create a new repository in AWS, which is ECR. So we'll see that if it works correctly. Press enter, and looks like it's going so far so good. And you can see here an error occurred. The repository exists in the ID. So for me, a repository exists. For you, don't have a problem. Yes or no? Which is good. So now let's go to AWS console and look for ECR. Look for ECR. And if you look for ECR, Elastic Container Registry, you will see Python service. And if you are able to see, give me thumbs up. So yeah, are you guys able to see? Mine was there before, so I'm going to delete and recreate because I want to really show you fresh, but you will have that. Yes, sir. I'm going to recreate because I got an error. Run, and I'm just going to create it. So you can see nice, beautiful. It did. And if I go here and I refresh, so I should have it. Good. Give me thumbs up. Good. Now, one thing I want you to help me. Please remember, this is my account. Your account may be different. So sometimes I refer account in my exercise. Please don't use literally, because if you use literally, you are trying to push to my account, which is not going to work. Do you guys agree or not? So you need to use your repository, especially when we are deploying. Because if you don't define this repository, then the image which is trying to create, are we understanding, right? If you remember Docker, right? Docker, when you say run, right? It will look for local machine, and local machine doesn't have, then it will look for repository, but Docker Hub repository. In our case, we're going to say, look here and deploy the image. And you will use your account. Don't use my account because it won't work. Makes sense. This is my account. Okay. Now, moving along. So we have image. Now I'm trying my best to highlight that you are going to use your account. So the best way to do is don't paste the command. Take this command and put it in Notepad so you can modify a little bit. So I'm going to open a new file and I open it, the command, and you can see I have explicitly added account ID. This account ID, which is the angular bracket, we are going to change according to your thing. Now we can debate about what is my account ID or not. There are many ways you can see. So one account ID you can see here also. You can see here, but this is not dash. You are not using. You're not using dash. So you use this one. So you can normally copy that, Control C, and paste it here. So now I have everything. Now let's understand what we are trying to do. So we are saying go to, listen carefully. We are saying go to ECR, log in, take the region, Docker login, username AWS, and password is this. So it will automatically do. Why? Because we are running all those things. When we create ECR, behind the scene, it create .ecr file in your machine. And that .ecr file has a temporary password. Again, if you're lucky, it will work. If it doesn't work, I spend like 2-3 days to figure it out, how to change that and all. Nowadays we have ChatGPT, so it's easier, but it creates a .ecr folder and it adds that. So sometimes you have to delete that in order to recreate that. Mistakes happen, right? So I'm going to now copy, Control C, and I'm pasting. So what basically what we are saying is, in that repository, we are going to log in. So this command will log into ECR. And hope for best, and it's login. So login successful. This is amazing. So far we are good. If it doesn't work, the only reason it doesn't work, just want to tell you that your machine is pointed to some other region, or you're using account number, which is totally different. So many times people don't realize that when they do the exercise, they use exercise and account ID someone else. Of course, you're not going to log in, and that they spend time. But here, everything works fine. So we are logged in. Now we need to push it. So first, we're going to create a tag. You can see that I highlighted. So each command, I'm going to paste it in Notepad, modify the account ID, and then I'll run it. So try not to directly paste it. So I'm going to paste it here. Paste it here, the command. And wherever the account ID is, I know my account ID now. So I'm going to copy this. Oops. Let me remove this thing so I can get my account ID. I hope everyone understands this account ID. We are trying to push our image to this registry. And we are saying that we are going to paste our latest. So this one is now the perfect command. I'm going to do Control C, paste. So before we paste, one more time, what we are saying is I'm going to create a tag Python service latest, and that is for this repository. Press enter. So this is just creating a tag. It is not pushing yet. Tag means if somebody wants to search, they can search as a latest Python service latest, but it is not pushing. Next command is pushing. So this command is pushing that information. So now I go here. Today is a lucky day. We are going cruising so far. Okay. I never thought this going to go so smooth. Again, here is the thing. So pre-work really pay off, right? Everything is done well. So Docker push. So now I'm pushing image, and this is my tag. So I'm saying, go to this location and push it. So you're pushing, basically you're pushing this tag, which you just created a few minutes back. So you're pushing this image to this location. So now let's do that. Docker push and paste it here. It should go without any problem. So it's pushing. Now, if you are doing C# application, concept remains same. Yes or no? First you do tag and then you push it. So there is no problem. Now let's go to console. And in console, if you click on your Python service, do you see your image? And answer is yes. I can see my latest. Do you guys agree? And if I click on latest, I can see all the details about the latest. You won't see more because it just hide that, but you can see that completely. So this is the URL. Now, whenever you do deployment, you will be using this URL. So hold it tight. This is something we'll go to our Kubernetes deployment file. Because when Kubernetes try to deploy, we're going to say, use this one and it will deploy. And we're almost, I would say 70–80% done. So now, good news, we have deployed our Docker. So now, as we go further, it's coming for deployment. So what we are trying to do? So we are saying here now, I am creating a file deployment as a section, and I'm going to create a section called service. Deployment sections will create a pod, and I'm going to create two pods. So you can see replica is 2. And the service will create a abstract layer, which is abstract layer. So I'm going to use service, and service will point to the load balancer. So it will put it here. And then I will be accessing service, and I'm done for the lab. Make sense? If I do replica 3, then it will do 3. I'm going to show you how to change replica, which is cool, right? Although there are a lot to cover, but concept wise, once you have this, you have full control. Then you can play around the command, which will do it. So right now, let's understand what deployment look like. So first thing first, there is a deployment YAML. And in that, we are creating kind deployment. And we are saying, I'm going to deploy Python service, and I'm going to create 2 parts, which is 2. And this Python service. And here, if you scroll down, here the URL is there. This URL is exactly same as we just saw here. So we're going to replace that. This URL is this URL with the account. Okay. So in order for us to understand this URL, will copy, will not type manually. So no problem there. Then if you go down, we are saying container will be listening to 5,000. And then we are doing dash. It means this section is deployment. This section is service. The application is deployed as a Python. The service is saying, I'm going to do service as a layer. And the service by default is a cluster IP. By default is a cluster IP, and it is looking Python service, which is deployed by this guy. So basically what it does, the deployment will create 2 parts, and service will use selector, look for this part automatically and do discovery. And it is listening, service is listening on 5,000. And type is load balancer. So we talk about that. It will do load balancer, means one part goes down, another part's down. Good news. This is called desired status. So you are telling desired status, so Kubernetes controller will maintain that. So if any situation part goes down, it will automatically create it. So we call self-healing, right? So a lot more to cover in. So what we need to do here, we're going to highlight section from here. So section from here, highlight up to this, and do Control C. Please understand, we are not doing anything, highlighting this YAML file. After create deployment YAML, you can see I highlighted this, Control C, and go to command prompt. Come out from Python service, because you don't need to be inside, right? Because we don't want to damage our folder. So I'm going to do cd ... I came out. And now I'm going to say not paid, D capital deploy, deployment dot YAML. So deployment dot YAML, you can have any extension, but YAML is good. YAML stands for yet another markup language. And you press enter and press yes. Now the only one change we need to do is the repository. We are saying that this image will come from our account. So for that, good news, we are ready to go. I copy this thing. Remember, we were in ECR, we copy this thing, so it's ready to go. And this one, I'm going to replace it. If you are able to do that, so you can delete this portion and paste this portion. Let's one more time walk through. We are saying, if I read carefully, so it say, this is my image, create a container, and now you are going to name as a Python service. You're going to create 2 replicas, right? Now this guy say, look for Python service anywhere. Sorry, Python part, my mistake. Look for Python part anywhere. It's Python service part anywhere. And now, so this one, my mistake. This one is a service. You will look for this name, which is this one. Selector will look for this. Now container has this part, service has this part. So you have 2 choices. You can change the port number, not a problem, or you can keep same as well. So right now looking good. I'm going to save it. Now we are going to do kubectl apply. So you can see here we are saying kubectl apply deployment.yaml, which is nothing but above file. So let's do that. And if it works, our image will be deployed. So if you press enter, image will be deployed. So now it will look our ECR and it will deploy these informations to our Kubernetes cluster. Make sense? So how do I know it's deployed? It's hard, right? So there is a one way you can see here in your local second. If you refresh here, 1 second. Do you see here? 1 second. It should be coming here. You should be able to see the long URL. Not yet. 1 second. It should come here. Let's do image. Image is here. So, yeah. So this image. 1 second. Because I want to make sure it should not deploy locally. It should not deploy locally. That's what I want to make sure. Let's see, container. Normally it gives the location here, or maybe I have not yet. No, I created service, so service should be running. That's fine. We'll check in a few minutes. So right now we created that. Now we're going to run kubectl services. I think this will give us idea, but you can also look for that. So if I say kubectl services, at this moment, if it shows me cluster name, then it knows that it is deployed in this thing. So you can see right now, it is showing AWS. Give me thumbs up. Do you guys agree? Yes or no? It is showing in a cluster, right? If it is local, it should not bring this. Right now, it is deployed and cluster and elastic load balancer is there as well. So that part is good. Now, if I go back here, so that service is there. If you want to do part, if you do say get part, right? You will see the part, 2 parts will be there because we deployed 2 parts. And that is also correct, right? If you say get namespace, which is N or name NS. So right now there is no namespace. We have not created namespace. We do need next lesson. Namespace. I don't think we have created namespace, so there's no namespace. These are all default, which is okay, no problem. Moving along. So right now we are able to see services. Now, please understand, this is our domain name. We're going to use this domain name and we will use this port. Okay. So good news. In our exercise, this is our thing. My port is 31948. Do you guys see that? 31948. If it works, you guys need to give me thumbs up because we are almost 90% done. So 31948. And that is pinging to our cloud. And if we say hello EKS, it means it's coming from AWS Cloud. My port is correct, 31948. 31948, yep. And come on, come on, come on. Is it giving? Yes, no, yes, no. Are you guys able to see hello from EKS? What is saying? It's still loading. Should not take this long. Maybe connection reload. Normal, it should come. It should come. Unless there is an error, but I don't think we have error. Services up. Do we have services up? Get services up, right? It's running. You've got those services running. So that part is correct. 319. Maybe 80, port 80. Sorry, I don't have to do 31948. Just 80 because it's a port 80. It's a host port is 80. So hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. Because the first is the port, right? Their own port, which is the host port, right? 314898, that's the container port. So 80 makes sense or no? First port is the host port. So this one is the host port. This port, right? This is the domain, and this is host port. And when you make request, this will go to container. So that's why. Got it? So that is working. Now, are you guys able to see or not? Port 80. Hello from EKS. Right? So we are at right now 80 to 90% done. Now let's play some commands so at least you can appreciate. So good news, you're awesome. You're able to run. Now let's say I want to see some commands. So like we know all commands. kubectl nodes, right? Kubeports services. You can have deployment. You can see services. But I want to, let's say, change replica. Or if I want to know some logs, I can see the log by port. But more I want is the replica. So let's say I want to say, you know what, something I want to increase. So your two choice. You can use deployment and change the replica and apply. Right? So you can apply that. Means if you remember, we did a YAML file, yes or no? So if a YAML file, if I come here and if I say 4, you can do that, apply 4, and you can say save this file. So you save the file. Now you come here, right? And you can use up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, and deployment 4, yes, is there, right? Yes or no? So I say 4, apply. Now it's gonna take desired state to 4. So this is right way to do. Now if I look for pod, you will see there are 4 running. And if you are able to understand that, that is the power of Kubernetes. So it's 4 running, right? Make sense or not? You can also run through command prompt. You can reduce through command prompt. So if I go here, there is a command prompt. This is the ideal way to do. But let's say if you want to run through command prompt, you can say kubectl scale deployment service replica 4. So let's say I want to take this command. You guys can play along. And you can say I want to do, let's say 2. So you can do 2 here. Now it will reduce to 2 because you're forcing the replica supposed to be 2. Now if you use up arrow and look for pod, you will see 2. Make sense? And you can see they are terminated also, which is nice. So that is working fine. Now it's time for us to create a namespace. So namespace, I'm going to create a namespace dev. You can create as many namespace you want. So what is namespace? It's a logical grouping in one cluster. What is context? Context is you have multiple cluster. Which cluster you want to use? That's context. So context is outside of the cluster. Namespace is inside the cluster. So let's run this command. Please do so. Run this command, which will create a namespace for us. So it will create a namespace. If you want to create multiple namespace, it's perfectly fine. You can create a dev namespace, QA namespace, production namespace, like that. You can create as many namespace you want. Technically, you are using resources, same, but you are creating logical grouping. So you can deploy same container into multiple namespace. So now developer can play around their container, QA can, and they will not interfere each other because they are deploying in different namespaces. Kind of logical grouping allows you to deploy same service with a different version. So now we deployed. The question is, this is the namespace. How do I deploy my service to that namespace? Because so far we deployed, there was no namespace defined. So it went to default. So in case if you look for, like example, I want to see the command, I'll show you. Give me a second. Not this one. Give me 1 second. I'll give you that. Yeah. So this command, kubectl get all -n. Okay, that's nothing but namespace. So I'm going to do this like this. Kubectl get all. Just do that. Kubectl get all like this. And if you do kubectl get all, you get all the details. So kubectl get all, you get all details. And here you can see that this application which we deploy, Python service, is running here, right? Now, if I do -n dev, it means look for dev. There is nothing inside because that's a brand new namespace. There is nothing, no resource. But if I do default, you will see all the containers are deployed in a default, which we knew that, right? So now the question is, how do I deploy my particular container in that namespace? Pretty easy, actually. So we do have deployment file, yes or no? There are a few changes we need to make. So if you go to my Word document, in the Word document, I have given this instruction. So there are 2 lines we need to change. So you can see metadata. After deployment, we have namespace dev after that. So I'm going to copy this, only this line. Metadata, Python service. So look for here, whatever we have here, we do have metadata. Look at that. I'm trying to mimic. And before specs, I'm going to paste here. I'm going to paste here namespace. So this way you are saying that this part needs to be deployed into this namespace. So that's a deployment. And if you scroll down, there's a service metadata, same concept you need to do here. That's pretty much it. So tomorrow, if you want to deploy, like QA say, I want to deploy that, you can do namespace this. In coming class, when I teach Helm chart, this can be environment variable, means you can change dev, QA, UAT dynamically using Azure DevOps or Jenkins. So Jenkins through you can inject QA, dev, UAT production, and then this will be automatic. So these are variable driven. So same image, you can deploy the environment you want. Please understand only the namespace. If I save it, right, and I use up arrow and apply, up arrow, and apply. So now this will deploy in dev space. So how do I know that? So if I look for this one, dev, you will see now our image, oops, get all, right? Get all. And if I look for, I will see my service is running under that namespace. Pretty good. So you can see that it's running under that namespace. Make sense on that? This namespace is dev, so I deployed with the namespace. Now I'm able to deploy. So this way, everything is working the way I want. Every time if I stop, start, change, the port might change, but our main port remains same, our domain remains same. Now, If you want to change this thing, this is nothing but external name. So you can also do mapping. So there is a concept, you can do that as well. So now almost everything looks promising, everything we are good. So last thing we need to is now it's time for us to destroy. So we have done that. If you want to make the namespace default, right now, if I run without this thing, default is default, right? Let's run this so you'll understand the command. So if I go back here and if I run, it will look for, sorry, kubectl get all, right? Kubectl get all. It looks for default, right? It look for default. And if you want to make dev as a default, right? So if you want to make dev as a default, then you can come here and say kubectl config set context current namespace is dev. So all command by default will run on this namespace. So you can do that. So if you deploy by default, it will go to dev namespace. So you don't have to explicitly say namespace is this namespace. This context allows you to set the pointer to particular namespace. So you can run. So if you are deploying CI/CD pipeline for QA, namespace supposed to be QA, you can do that as well. Now the last but not least, we have to destroy. So we all check this all. Now we are going to destroy. So this command, when you say delete cluster, it will go to CloudFormation. It will ask to destroy. And let's do that. And if I do it, enter, it is destroying. And how do I know? It's going to take a while. So while it is doing that, you may want to go to console, your AWS console, and look for CloudFormation. CloudFormation. Look for CloudFormation and see if you can see the request is doing destroy. CloudFormation. And you can see it came here. Says tag CloudFormation. It came here. Refresh. Which one we did? This one, 8686. So it should come here, come here. I hope it went through. Yeah, it's going through. So it should come here somehow. It didn't come yet. Why? CloudFormation. Are you guys able to see or no? Oh, huh? Yeah, it should be deleting in progress. Yeah, so that will delete everything. The only thing ECR, which you can go and delete, user and policy, it will not delete because you created, you did not go through the formation. And that completes our number 1 exercise for the day. Any question, concerns, doubt? People on phone, any question, concerns, doubt? Pretty interesting. 21-page lab, which normally without preparations, it may take a while. With preparation, we are able to do approximately in 1 hour time frame. Again, I highly request you, if you are writing in your resume about Docker, Kubernetes, do this exercise a couple of times and feel comfortable and go confidently that you can communicate and convince someone. There are a few things people may ask question, right? Example, the container talks to another container. I always tell people, draw this type of diagram, like example. If you have like this type of thing, like example, database. So you have MySQL, right? So if you have MySQL here, then you will have a service, right? The service for MySQL. And then let's say there is a Python service. So this is your Python, which is called service layer, right? So Python. So these are also another part. These are another part, right? And now you will have another service here, right? Python service. And this service you might be exposing through external world, right? So like example, someone call here through this load balancer, your service, you can go here or here. This will be connecting here and then connecting here or here, or it is connecting. So if you want to do that, how you going to do? So very simple. This portion we just did in front of you, yes or no? We create a deployment and we say scale 2. So rather than Python container, you will deploy MySQL container. Concept remains same, and you will have a service. And that same thing you repeat for Python. But this service, whichever you use, if this guy is dependent, make sure your locator, right? Locator, you use MySQL service. Now they all will work. And then this will automatically connect. There is no physical or hard coded. This portion we just did. But if you repeat the same process 2 times, and this service, you can make it discoverable, then it should be fired. So let me just show you. So if let's say I deploy, then wherever you are having a match label, right, that you have to change. So example here, I would say MySQL service. Very simple. It will look for MySQL service. And wherever you have other thing, you appropriately change that. So you may need to do multiple deployment. One deployment is only for MySQL, another deployment is for Python. And when you do that, it will talk to each other and then you use. So Amazon or big company, what they do, they have like always 3-tier architecture. So first tier is a database, second tier is a business layer, and third tier is a web tier, right? So database layer, they might have multiple parts, right? And then they add a service here. That service, so they talk to this layer. And then there are other services, like example, product service, item service, customer service, order service, shipping service. These are services out there. Each service have an associated database, right? It is possible these are gigantic database, so they use the same database for all, but they have schema. So database, they create a schema, order schema, product schema, vendor schema, but database is same. So database, they create a persistent volume. So persistent volume, they create a persistent volume. So it doesn't matter request goes to here or here, they're going to share the data because they are persistent volume in one location. And these are all service layer. And that's why in Amazon, normally the Amazon employee, they're young, very young. If it's average employee age is in Amazon is between 20 to 25. So they are college students. What they do, they create a Hello World Python service. So Hello World Python service, they create it, and then there's locator. And when you do one time, you repeat multiple times because they don't need to know in and out. They're cookie cutter. They focus on more service part, which they're good at, like Python, Node.js, or C#, and rest of the team who are good at database. So they create a service level team. So this service level, they add 2 or 3 people. Make sense? They add a service level team. And in that specific service, they add 1 or 2 people. Make sense? So this is the way they make success.